friends, and welcome to sustainableprepping.com, your home for fear-free emergency preparedness on the internet. I'm Brecky, and today we are going to be discussing 5 specialty items that you should be adding to your family's at-home first aid kit. If you are new here, welcome. I am so very glad that you found this slice of internet, and if you are not new, welcome back. I'm glad you're joining us again. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that you are always kept in the loop of brand new videos that come out each week, and like this video. It lets me know that you enjoy fear-free emergency preparedness content. So March is First Aid Month over in our Facebook group, and we are going over lots of different items that you can be adding to your home first aid kit and sort of medicine cabinet. Last week I offered 15 at-home essentials that I think everyone should have, and for the most part everything can be picked up at your local drugstore or Walmart or something like that. But these are 5 essentials that you will probably have to order unless you have a good store that does medical supplies where you live. I live in the country, so all of these had to be specialty ordered, but there are items I think that every family should have, especially right now in 2021 with the pandemic still underway. I know that hospitals are at capacity. Our rural hospital certainly is at capacity, and lots of hospitals are stretched thin. The more of it you can take care of at home, the less risk you're going to be posing to your family by being exposed potentially to the virus or any other things that could be out there. So these are 5 essentials I think that you should order and go ahead and get in place. The first one is a pulse oximeter. Make sure y'all can see that okay. This is the kind of thing you just put it on your finger, you turn it on, and it can read your pulse and it can read your blood oxygen levels. Now this is especially helpful in this particular season, as the respiratory illness that's going around can cause a drop in oxygen levels. So if you are wanting to monitor whether or not you need to go and seek emergency care, being able to test someone's blood oxygen level is incredibly helpful. This is something that we purchased, probably almost a year ago. We got this very close to the beginning of the pandemic. We got it off of Amazon. I will link what we've ordered down below. But this is just, I think it was less than $20, and you just turn it on and it has a little thing. You put your finger and it reads for you your blood oxygen saturation, your pulse. Right, see, there you go. You can see it's thinking and it's talking to itself. The point really is to have a way of monitoring your blood oxygen level, and particularly, like I said, with the respiratory illness that's going around, if your blood oxygen level gets below 90, for example, you need to be in the hospital. If your blood oxygen level drops below, let's say 92 is what I've heard between 92 and 90. If it's below that, you definitely need to be going to the hospital, but if it's above that, they might be sending you home. And so that's a good way to gauge, to know just how acute the illness is and whether or not it is being treated reasonably at home, or if you need to go on and go ahead and receive emergency medical care. So I recommend having your own pulse oximeter just so you can monitor oxygen levels at home. My next recommendation is another medical gadget. We actually got ours almost a year and a half ago. This is a battery powered blood pressure cuff. Okay, it's a battery powered blood pressure cuff. This is the Omicron version, or the Omron version. This was highly recommended. When I came home from the hospital from having my twin daughters, I had suffered from preeclampsia, and we found that I was having really bad blood pressure spikes. One of the things they don't tell you is that if you have preeclampsia before the babies are born, you can actually suffer from preeclampsia up to 6 weeks out postpartum. And so I had to take a blood pressure medication. I had to monitor my blood pressure every day, and it was scary. I'll be honest with you, it was very scary. We're not having any more biological children for that reason. But this was a really easy to use, friendly machine that we ordered. I think it was about $35. It was under $50 for sure. And you just put the blood pressure cuff on, I guess we'll go on your left arm, and you just press the start. And here it has 2 little people. So this actually saves either 3 or 5 readings, and you can have them saved per person. So if you are monitoring multiple people, if you are someone who is needing to monitor your blood pressure, maybe it's an emergency situation and you don't have enough blood pressure medication, so you want to monitor your blood pressure as you kind of wean yourself off of it for whatever reason, you have this. Now I don't recommend you do that, right? Like, this is certainly an emergency item, but we have used this as another person in our family was put onto a medication that does make your blood pressure rise. We monitored them in the mornings and in the evenings to make sure they weren't having any spikes, and they didn't, and it was great. But having one of these at home is super helpful. I like this one because it's battery powered, but it also has a plug. Here is the plug where you can actually plug it into like a battery bank or into the wall to charge as well. So you have two options. You aren't reliant on this needing to be plugged into a wall. You have batteries. It's just a really nice thing to have for peace of mind, particularly if you have someone who you are concerned about having a blood pressure issue. Having this is super helpful, particularly if you have somebody who has a problem of high blood pressure or has a problem of hypertension. Being able to monitor that so that you can address it is really helpful, and this is a very user-friendly device that isn't going to break the bank. I suggest everyone have one. My next recommendation moves into the realm of wound care, and that is to get you some of these non-stick antimicrobial AMD pads. I bought a box of like 20 of them for $12, I think, off of Amazon. But basically, these are better for major wound care than gauze. Gauze has to be taken off basically every few hours. It saturates, and any of the new fresh skin, right? If you have new fresh skin that is beginning to grow back, if you pull off the gauze, you're pulling off all of that new fresh skin again. These pads can stay on a little bit longer. They're antimicrobial, so they are going to be sterile. They're going to be safer for the wound care that you have. And these are just really, really useful to have if you're trying to do, I wouldn't say major wound care, but I would say medium level wound care. If you have major wound care and you don't have a background in first aid, I would suggest going and seeking emergency medical treatment immediately. But if you're trying to take care of as many different options at home, these, again, they're not going to break the bank. They're not crazy expensive. Now, there are some that are very, very expensive that I haven't even purchased because they're a little outside of our price range right now, that are foam and create a foam shell barrier. But if you want something that you can afford, it's a little bit more affordable. These antimicrobial pads, this is the Telfa. You see the Telfa brand, and they are just an AMD antimicrobial non-adherent pad, and they are going to create a better barrier for the wound treatment that you're trying to take care of. Okay, so this would be a recommendation, and very easy to get, very affordable to get, something that every family should definitely have in their medicine cabinet. And these came in a giant box, so you get a whole bunch, and you can distribute them across all of your first aid kits because you should have more than one. Oh yeah. My fourth recommendation is for wound care again, and that is to get some alginate silver, antibacterial alginate with silver. These come in boxes like this. I will show you. This is what it looks like. And basically this has a silver compound, and you you cleanse the area and you put this on there, and it's very good for healing. These are especially good for burn care. Okay, these are especially good for burn care. If you are putting together a first aid kit and you want to think about the accidents most likely to happen, particularly if you're in a disaster scenario, people are going to be cooking over campfires probably for the first time, and burns are going to happen. So having some burn care items is going to really help you, and silver has been proven to be particularly healing for burn care. Now again, if you have a serious burn, you should be absolutely seeking out medical professionals to take care of you. But for minor burns, if you want to be able to take care of something very quickly, getting a alginate of silver, my antimicrobial pad, is great. Now they make more of these. In fact, next to order on my next sort of beefing up my my kits list is to get ones that are a little bit more saturated and bigger, and you can cut them, of course. But these are just a really great item to have to help you take care of burns, and again, any area that needs to have a totally sterile environment for cleaning, a really good healing environment for skin abrasions and things like that. But really, silver alginate is particularly good for burn care, and I recommend everybody order a pack of these. They're not crazy expensive, but they certainly are a little bit more pricey than the other antimicrobial pads that I've recommended. So of course, use your best judgment. I will leave my favorite things down below, of course. All right, my fifth and final recommendation of items that every family should have that are specialty is to get a SAM Splint. I will tell you that my brother, who's an Army medic, laughed at me when I told him I ordered one of these because he runs a clinic and was like, I have 1,000 of these in stock, I gotta send you one. But I wanted to purchase it because I want to only recommend items I'm willing to purchase myself. You can see SAM Splints will show you on the item how they work, but basically you unroll this, you mold it around an area that you believe is sprained or even fractured. It creates a hard splint, right? Not as hard as a cast, but it creates a firm splint in order to help stabilize the sprained, bruised, or fractured bone or area, and that allows you to move with them. Now, I actually suggest that you have 2 of these. You keep one of these in your car in case something happens while you're out and you need to help somebody, you know, if they fracture an ankle, and then you'd be able to have something stabilize it. You have something out with you, and then you have one at home. But a SAM Splint is really helpful. Now, there are multiple ways of unwrapping these and refolding them so they lay flat in case this is a little too bulky for your first aid kit. I will link a video down below to how the Mountain RN does it. But you definitely want to have one of these, and at least where I am, nothing like this is on the shelves available. We did have to order this off of Amazon. So I really suggest having a SAM Splint, particularly if you have active kids who are running and jumping, if you do a lot of hiking. This is a great thing to have in a hiking first aid kit. Again, you probably want to unroll it so it doesn't take up quite so much space, but you would hate to be 2, 3, 4 miles into a hike and someone take a tumble, really hurt their ankle, needs to have it stabilized, and you don't have a way to do that. So absolutely, you should get yourselves a SAM Splint. And of course, I have a bonus for you, and that is to get the Survival Medicine Handbook. Now, there are a lot of emergency medicine handbooks. In fact, I do think the Army Medical Field Guide is another good one if you don't have access to this. But if you can, I recommend picking up the Survival Medicine Handbook. The entire concept is that this is about how to do survival medicine if you do not have access to an actual medical center. If there is a major natural disaster and the EMTs aren't coming, for example, and it's up to you and what you have at home, this is a great medical guide. I have looked through it. It has freaked me out, some of it, and I have based some of my recommendations of what I think you should have at home on some of the things that they recommend in here. At the end of the day, everything I recommend, I want you to use your best judgment and wisdom. If you are not a medical professional and you don't have experience taking care of wounds, you need to be seeking medical professional help. However, if you're in a situation where that isn't available, I want you to be prepared to take care of as many minor scrapes, cuts, burns, bruises, and things at home as possible in the event that you aren't able to get to medical treatment. This is a great resource to have and will help you use all the items I've recommended in this videos and other videos more effectively to treat potential wounds or illnesses that you might have to face in a grid down emergency situation. All right, my friends, those are my 5 recommendations plus 1 book that I think should be on everybody's shelves. Comment down below and let me know, what specialty item would you absolutely recommend? There are tons, and I certainly could have made a list that was 3 times this long, but I wanted to offer 5 quick recommendations, particularly ones that will be especially useful in our current 2021 situation, things that might help monitor respiratory illness and such. Hope you guys are all doing well. Don't forget to join our Facebook group. I am getting ready to set up a live with my brother, the Army medic who recommended the SAM Splints. I am super excited for that and for some other things we have coming along the pike. And if you want your own planning guide, if you want to create your own unique personalized family plan, I have a free one that I am giving away to help people get started on creating their own emergency plans. I'm going to have a link for it down below. I really encourage you to sign up, get the free plan, have a plan in place. Y'all know that my heart is helping mamas prepare for future emergencies so that when the emergency happens, not if, but when, they are calm and confident. Their families are calm and confident. They are secure. They're not losing their minds. I want that to be you. I want you to have that security. I want you to have that calm. I want you to be set up for success in the next emergency. So get that free plan. It's down below. Join the Facebook group. group, join the conversation, leave me your comments on recommendations, and if there are videos that you want to see, let me know. I'm happy to make videos that you're interested in and teach more of what you need, because that's why I'm here. I'm here to teach you. I hope you guys are all doing so well, and until next week,